Now, for more on those trade talks, let's bring in Wendy Cutler. She is a senior vice president at the Asia Society Policy Institute. Wendy, whose position has improved or not since April here between the U.S. and China?
It's hard to tell, but we are seeing a different China in these negotiations. It's clearly playing hardball, much tougher positions than it did during the first term of the Trump administration. And again, just this morning, going into the second day of talks, China announces announces violations by NVIDIA of Chinese antitrust regulations. That's a very aggressive move and something I've never seen in trade negotiations, that during the talks, the other country takes measures against the other country.
Wendy, if the economy in China is so bad and they've got these deflation issues, how can they afford to play hardball?
Well, again, the economy is not that bad. Clearly, it's facing some challenges and it's being hit by these tariffs, but it also has a lot going for it as well. And remember, China thinks in the long term, and it feels that it can outweight the United States. And in many respects it wants to kind of delay all of this and let time play out. It feels that time is on its side, not on the U.S. side, and that the U.S. is much more anxious to get a deal and to get a meeting with Xi Jinping than China's interested.
What's going to determine whether China's right in that calculation? Is it the economic data?
Well, part of it will be the economic data, but part of it will also be who blinks first and who in a negotiation feels like it has to give more to get what it wants. And remember, China has a lot of leverage with its dominance in the critical minerals and magnet market. We saw that play out a few months ago, and China is still wielding that lever over the United States.
But aside from the economic data, what would make China need to blink?
It would have to feel that it has more to lose than to gain. And it's just not in that realm of thinking. Since the first Trump administration, it has taken a number of steps to make itself less dependent on the U.S. market. And we saw its August export data with exports climbing to Southeast Asia, Europe, Africa, even as exports decreased to the United States.
When you see the meetings that China is taking, both with other folks who are skeptical of the United States, let's just say, and with folks who are traditionally allied with the U.S., what kind of strategic position in trade is this putting China in as the U.S. imposes tariffs? And we wait to see what some of the finer economic and political impacts of those are.
Look, China is on a charm offensive all around the world. It's trying to portray itself as the guardian of the international trading order, one that the United States is disrupting. Now, some of our trading partners are buying into it, but many are not. But all that said, for many of them, China is their largest trading partner, and they're continuing to expand trade and investment ties with China at a time when the United States is pulling back.
What's this doing with Brazil? They don't seem to be caving in to what the president wants. And I wonder if the China trade situation is having a behind-the-scenes impact on that.
Well, look, Brazil's trade ties with China are strengthening. Brazil now is the largest soybean supplier to China. We used to be #1, and now our soybean farmers are hurting as Brazilian soybean farmers are benefiting. So I think we're going to see more and more of these ties between China and countries that are being adversely impacted by U.S. tariffs improve, as countries all around the world right now are looking to reduce their dependence on the U.S. market so they don't have to be so hurt and so vulnerable to U.S. tariff threats.